So you're trying to find the best lawyer in Galveston for your DWI case. What do you need to look for? I think the first thing, if I had been pulled over for a DWI in Galveston, I would want to know: has this person had experience? Um, has this person ever tried a DWI case? Have they worked on both sides of the aisle? I think former prosecutors make really good defense attorneys because we understand exactly what the prosecution is thinking about. When you are a prosecutor, and this is true for prosecutors in Galveston County, they have so many cases. They have thousands and thousands of cases, and they don't know a whole lot about a DWI case when it first comes in. Now, if it was in Harris or Montgomery County, they have 24-hour intake. They might hear about that case really quickly. Galveston's a little bit slower. Um, I think that in Galveston, when you're pulled over for DWI, what the DA is going to have at first is basically an arrest record from the officer. They're going to look over that. They're going to see the standardized field sobriety test clues. They're going to look at the HGN, that's the eye test. They're going to see, how many out of 6 clues did you get? And then they're going to look at the walk and turn and the one leg stand test. They're only going to read this on paper. They're not going to see your video initially. Prosecutors do not watch DWI videos right away, almost never. The only time a prosecutor is going to watch a DWI video is if a skilled criminal defense attorney on your side tells them, hey, I've watched the video. Here's the timestamp. 20 minutes in, the officer gives the wrong instructions for the walk and turn test. They don't read the DIC 24. So the breath test that you have that says this number, it's not going to be admissible, something like that. And then a prosecutor may go ahead and look at or watch a video in a DWI case. But we've handled thousands of these DWI cases, and we've seen a pattern in what people are concerned about when they're trying to find that, the best lawyer for DWI in Galveston. A lot of times they have concerns about their driver's license. Luckily, this is something we can handle. An ALR hearing is a special type of hearing where we can challenge the driver's license suspension. And even if we're not successful at that, we can get an occupational license that keeps you driving so you can go to work, you can provide for your family. People also have concerns about convictions. Now, the best way to avoid a conviction is obviously to get the case dismissed. That is, a difficult legal question that involves, a lot of work that goes into reviewing the evidence, negotiating with prosecutors, and things like that. But there's another way you can get a case dismissed. That's a pretrial diversion. If you're a candidate for that, we can identify that, get you applied, and try to get you a pretrial diversion. That way, even if there's negative evidence for us, even if there's evidence that you were intoxicated while driving, it doesn't mean you have to get convicted. And then oftentimes people have concerns about family and friends even finding out that this has happened. So we want to, in many cases, try to avoid having the interlock device placed in a car so that every time you drive somewhere with family or friends, they know, you're under this allegation of DWI. So a lot of that is the main concerns that we hear from people when they're trying to find the best DWI lawyer for them. Another thing that we hear is, do I even need a DWI lawyer? Do I need somebody to go to court with me? I think absolutely you do. Even on traffic tickets, I would always recommend hiring a lawyer because we just can deal with these things much easier. And we can typically get a much better result than you will on your own. You see, the DA doesn't have to tell you anything positive about the negotiation process. They have to give you evidence that's exculpatory, but they don't have to point out and say, well, here's the reason why this evidence is good for you and why I'm likely to give a better offer or even dismiss the case. Even if they have a case with a serious legal violation, if you go into court on your own and say, hey, I just want to get a good deal, I'm sorry, they're just going to say, okay, great, and give you that deal that maybe even results in a conviction. Some people say, well, can I just pay it as a fine? And if the DA says yes, they'll think, well, that's not a real conviction. They kind of treated it like a ticket. Well, no, if you pay for a DWI by doing a fine only, that's still a conviction. There are ways to even get that removed from your record, but that's a whole separate discussion. That's about the non-disclosure law. And you don't want to end up in that position. You want to totally understand your options before you go into court and talk with a prosecutor. You don't ever want to do that first, but before you enter into a deal, you have to have somebody on your side to tell you, is this a good deal or not, based on their experience. You have to find a lawyer that you trust, because at the end of every criminal case is some kind of a difficult decision. Unless we can get it dismissed, which we do a lot, but it doesn't happen in every case. Uh, a lot of times there's a difficult decision at the end of the case. Do we want to go to trial? Do we want to risk a higher punishment to get a better result? If you don't have somebody that you trust on your side giving you that advice, if you don't trust what your lawyer is telling you is in your best interest, you think they're going to be honest with you the whole time, then you've basically wasted that money on that lawyer, because they're giving you advice for what you should do. Ultimately, it's the client's decision whether to plea a case, whether to take it to trial, and who decides the punishment, either a judge or a jury. And you have to have a lawyer you trust in helping you make those decisions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're out there wondering what to do with the DWI, talk to a lawyer. We offer a free consultation. You're welcome to give us a call. We'd love to talk with you about it. And for now, though, these videos are just for educational purposes. We appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.